It is time for another live game of StarCraft 2, and what I'm playing for you today is a Zerg vs Terran at the same time as I'm also giving commentary to it. And I was thinking, it's actually been a little while since I last did a live game of just a good old, ladder match. I played a game a ton, as you may be aware. I stream probably about 20 to 25, maybe even 30 hours every single week of StarCraft 2, and the vast majority of that is the 1 versus 1 ladder, because it's probably my favorite aspect of the game. But, I haven't uploaded as many videos as I used to back in the day. As you may remember, the channel once upon a time really started around this concept of me just simply uploading live games, but I haven't been doing it as much as of late. But it's been a lot of fun to play StarCraft, in particular since patch 3.8, as the meta has shifted around a lot. And right now I'm playing Zerg vs Terran, and while we can still most definitely play Mutaling Bane, and I may very well end up playing that in this match as well, there are all kinds of additions, in particular when my opponent decides to go for a mech-based army, and it's on to us to figure out exactly what it is that he is going for. We'll get started here with a standard build. I went for the hatchery on the low ground, gonna follow it up with a gas geyser, and next up I'll make sure to get my spawning pool as well, all the while spamming some APM. Now a lot of people wonder, like, hey, why do you spam in the earlier stages of the game? Honestly, it doesn't really feel like spam to me. For the most part, it's me just, warming up for the rest of the game. If you play this game a lot of the actions you do are just 100% autopilot, and I find it to be quite helpful actually to spam keys in the earlier stages of the game, just because it sort of makes me spam keys and use actions a little bit quicker in the later stages of it as well. And it just sort of wakes up my brain in a way. Anyway, obviously it doesn't really achieve a whole lot to press buttons and reselect your workers over and over and over again, in case you were wondering. But it's quite a common thing for high-level players to do, I suppose. Looks like the factory is already going down. I'm not seeing any barracks at the top of his ramp. He may very well be ramping or walling off the ramp right here at the natural. No, he's actually not. Wow. Alright, so very quick, very quick Reaper as well as a quick factory. That means that he went for the gas probably before the barracks. I'm assuming right now that there's a reactor going down as well, and that indeed that is going to be the case. I want to keep an eye out here to figure out whether or not my opponent is really going heavy Cyclone play, which has been very popular, like heavy Cyclone, Hellion, Hellbat. That is something that you would follow up with a second factory here as well with this SEV. I don't know if he's going for that though. I'll make sure to queue up my second barracks here, or my second queen in the main as well. Not really seeing a whole lot just yet, but I'm gonna make the assumption that it is the case. Still having a quick little peek. I want to see whether or not he's also making a reactor on this one without losing an overlord. And he's not really adding on anything just yet. If he gets a reactor on that, we know exactly what's up. Yep, that's a... Oh, it's actually a tech lab. Alright, never mind. A bit of another different strategy that we're going up against today. Fair enough. I thought he was going to add on a second reactor as soon as possible here as well. But looks like we're good. I'm going to try and squeeze out my third base here. I'm consciously not going for, the one in the main right now. Or in the gold right now, just because it's a little too risky for my liking. And we're going to start putting up a creep tumor here as well, so I can really get some solid creep spread going, as that does help out quite a bit. Now, the build that he's going for is a little bit on the odd end, I would say. I haven't seen this as much as of late. I'll make sure to get my overlord speed here. There are some Hellions out here already. I think if we really want to, I don't know how heavy he's going to commit into this. We'll fly in the overlord to try and figure out what, his commitment level is, so to say. But if he commits really heavily into roaches, or into Hellions rather, I may very well have to get myself some roaches as well, because Banes can oftentimes not cut it. I need to see whether or not he's adding on another thing. Oh, okay, it's just a good old starport, or a Stargate rather. No, it is a starport. I will indeed go for a lair here next. And my opponent is going to be a bit of a pain here, so I'll go ahead and throw up my Roach Warren as well. He's going to be quite aggressive. Get another queen here as well in this base. And once this third finishes up, which is almost, we will go ahead and get ourselves a reactor on there too. This is going to be a little bit painful if we aren't careful. Whew. Trying to get over there. Looks like I'd managed to. That's good. And wow! Whoa! My opponent got a fusion core. Are you kidding me? That is amazing. I haven't seen that in so long. He's going for a Battlecruiser? That's the only thing that makes sense here. That is literally the only thing that makes sense here. That is insane. That is insane. Alright. We're gonna have to follow this up with a couple of our own queens as well. I'm trying to think here out loud of the options that he could be going for. But really, like, the one that makes the only sense, really, is going to be the Battlecruiser. Now, I'm gonna try and pick off a couple of these guys, if I can. Looks like I'm not. We'll go ahead and put up our Spire here, just in case. Obviously, Battlecruisers did get buffed quite a bit, but I don't know if they got buffed to the point where they're now considered a viable, you know, tech unit. I'm gonna try and squeeze out a couple of workers as well. I'm getting my roaches already, so they will be able to deal with this just fine. I'm just a little worried. He can indeed jump into my main base and do quite a little bit of damage. And obviously, the commitment levels are rather high, but he doesn't really have to, you know, do any kind of guaranteed damage with it. He does snipe a couple of workers there. I'll go ahead and counterattack with my units. See if I can do some damage with those. As long as I don't take any kind of serious eco losses, I think we'll be okay. And I'm really trying to squeeze out as many workers here as possible while also counterattacking with my links. Already got, you know, a whole lot of queens here. They're rather helpful. We'll see if I can run up the ramp. Looks like I'm not going to be able to, but we did indeed find that there is a third barracks. This may trigger him to send his stuff back home. But there's the Battlecruiser. There is the Battlecruiser. Spire is done. I'll get the armor upgrade here, and I'll try and get a couple of Corruptors as soon as possible as well. Get these guys to mining. And I'll start up my units. He did find me there, which is a little unfortunate, but it's okay. Oh, wait, there he is. There he is. Stop attacking me, Mr. Battlecruiser. I don't know if he's got the Yamato cannon. I believe it does one-shot a queen. Yep, that queen is dead. But that's fine. I got my Corruptors coming in here already. And they will be able to do quite a bit of work. Okay. Got 7 of them right now, which is very nice. And I'm still making workers here. I think I'm gonna have to go ahead and grab myself some more workers just for the main base as well, just to try and make sure that we don't really lose all too much. And I wonder what his real tech switch is going. What's this queen doing here? I didn't even see it. I thought that was gonna be a. Okay. I thought that was actually a. Yeah, he's gonna go full mech. I thought it was actually an overlord. It certainly does look like it, and I'm not really seeing anything super terrifying just yet. I'll go ahead and get myself +1/+1. Alright, if I could get the Battlecruiser, that would be nice. But sadly, they can now actually jump out very easily. With the tactical jump no longer being a cooldown, or no longer being a resource-based ability, but rather a cooldown-based one. I got quite a lot of workers actually, a little bit more on the bases that I need right now. So I'm getting another base here, going for the gold instead. And we'll start producing a lot of roaches now. Which would be very helpful. A Battlecruiser rush though. That is not something we usually see. I'll go ahead and switch towards the hive now as well, so I can use the Corruptors that I got quite easily. But he actually got quite a lot of Battlecruisers here. I'm gonna try and move forward with the Corruptors that I do have. Obviously, if he's already here, he's not gonna be able to tactical jump very easily at all. And since it doesn't look like he's got a whole lot of anti-air, we're gonna be able to kill those things with relative ease. He's actually gonna be repairing it. Look at that. He's repairing it with the SCVs. That is so cool. I haven't seen this forever. Like, and with forever, I mean like basically never. That is insane. That's such a cool way of playing. Alright, we'll have to go ahead and tech up towards the hive here, because I can't engage all of those, you know, all of those units. There's too many. Too many siege tanks at the very least. I can try, but I don't think it's gonna work out. Alright. So +1/+1 is just about to finish up. That's good. I need to make sure I put one more drone in there. And, I mean, he's trying to do some damage to me. I got a lot of stuff here. I'll go up for +2/+2 as fast as I possibly can as well. But we'll try and see if I can do some damage here, but I highly doubt it's gonna be great. I mean, we can... No, man, we can't try. We gotta back up. We gotta back up. Alright, so I think I actually need to switch into a mech counter, you know? And for the most part, a counter to mech. And you can see I have a lot of resources here, but it's all about the gas here. We need to have a gas-heavy army. I don't really use my minerals at this point as often as I probably can, because I just simply don't have that much spending. I mean, this gold base, while it's nice to have gold and minerals, we really are looking here for gas. So I'll go ahead and grab all of these things. I'm adding on my swarm house right now, a unit that we haven't seen in competitive StarCraft 2 in a long time, at least not in recent days, but since the new patch, it's become a unit that actually has a lot of value. He can snipe some of my stuff, that's fine. We also got our hive done here, so I can go for the... Ooh, there we go. My hive is also done, so I can go for the blinding cloud, the vipers, which is very helpful. And for the most part, I think I need to really work on my crew spread here as well. Swarmers are helpful, but you need to make sure that you don't spam their ability. Okay, that's my first Viper. Now, this is a bit of a technical army to control. As you can see, like, the meta has certainly changed, though, from what you may remember from StarCraft 2. It is certainly a little bit different than it used to be. And actually, I need to be careful that I don't lose too many of my workers either. I'm gonna go ahead and replace some. Oh, there's a Battlecruiser again. He's gonna have to jump. Yep, that's exactly what he does. This opens up a lot more supply for me, though, to get some more Corruptor. Or some more Viper, which is exactly what I wanted. And at the same time, I can keep on upgrading here as well. Going up to +3 armor here, which is very helpful. I'm really just trying to make sure that he doesn't get too much economy. He probably has the gold base at this point. Then again, he also really relies on gas for the most part, and not really... You know, the units that we're currently seeing. Yeah, he actually decided not to go for the gold even. I gotta say though, this Battlecruiser play is actually pretty powerful. Now, he is forced to slowly expand, right? Like, he hasn't really been expanding very much throughout this game, which is a good thing for me. We got a very powerful army. I'll try and see if I can do some damage to him. Oh god. Okay, see? Look at the damage output of the swarm host. That just killed like 5 siege tanks, which is a lot. I'll actually add on some more here. I did lose a couple. Ideally, I didn't actually expect him to be all the way over there. Ideally, we would have had, you know, a little bit more. This is looking good, though. I already have a big bank, right? I already have a huge bank, which is nice, but I do need to get some stuff as well if I want to defend this. The creep is pretty much everywhere, but I can start moving now because I've got a lot of stuff. Oh, a couple of free units, that's good. So basically you want to make sure that you fly these things forward in like smaller clumps. Try and push up here. Adding on more Corruptor as well now. We are rolling through a lot of these units. I'm sending my Vipers back home. And it looks like after killing this one, I'm gonna have to head home as well on this end. He does have a planetary over there, so it's very difficult for me to engage. And I'll just simply get a lot more Corruptor. We'll get ourselves the Greater Spire after this as well. The Greater Spire is going to be a very, very important tool here. He's actually going on the prowl now with his army. That's kind of terrifying. Alright. +3 armor is done. That's a huge upgrade on Corruptor. Okay. Trying to defend here with my newly acquired base. But really, I don't want to overcommit here either, right? Okay, I got a lot of stuff. He immediately jumps away with him. That was to be expected. We'll try and see if he can engage once again. Obviously, I can quite aggressively kill his base with relative ease on my with my Corruptors. Okay, here we go. We're pissing that base to death, which is good. Send these guys home. Greater Spire will be finishing up in just a little bit, so I did just manage to kill that stuff. That's great. That means that I can add on my Brute Lords here very soon. And look at this Zerg vs. Terran, right? It makes a lot of sense. I think. I mean, when I'm trying to explain it, it makes a lot of sense in my head at the very least, but it's pretty insane how different the matchup is from what it used to be. I think it's great. Alright, is that my Greater Spire done? Oh, yes it is. We'll go ahead and get some more upgrades on those as well as some upgrades for the Brutelings. And I don't really need to inject anymore, so I'll send my Queens with this army as well. Okay. Put you guys on the same hotkey, you guys on the same hotkey. Bring the Queens over. Now, he probably doesn't need any of those units anymore either, so he just starts, you know, throwing them away. Okay, my Queens are here. We're using them for fighting right now. And if I can get up to the high ground, that would be extremely helpful. Okay, obviously the siege tanks do a lot of friendly fire. And my opponent immediately decides to push down. Okay. I've got a lot of stuff. He's trying to use his abilities, and I sadly can't really do a whole lot about that, but we are still pushing here. I'm just simply gonna replace any units that I'm losing. He's obviously on less economy than myself, which is good. I'll go ahead and take his gold as well while we're at it, just to mostly keep tabs on it. Okay. Here are my Brute Lords done! I think we can push with this. I think we can push with this quite aggressively. What a weird type of game. But it feels like we have finally managed to reach a point where I've got a lot of units. Now, he actually has got a lot of Brute Lords still, though. Obviously, we can transfuse here using the Queens as well. I'll try and target fire down with the Corruptors. Here we go. We're still doing so much damage. I'm adding on more Corruptor once again. Or more Brute... No, not... yeah, more Corruptor once again. Okay. And we sent in the roaches now as well. We'll send in the roaches now as well, flooding the map with more and more things. And my opponent decides to leave the game. Now, I liked the opener he did a lot, actually. The Battlecruiser, like, rush, while it technically was a little bit more on the risky end, it seemed surprisingly powerful. I mean, I couldn't really kill it very easily, and I couldn't really counter him very easily either. Now, granted, talking and playing at the same time is a little bit tricky, and you could see it in my early gameplay as well. It was a little bit weaker than I wanted it to be, but I felt like I followed it up quite reasonable, considering the situation that we were in. A lot of fun, you know, units that weren't really seeing play for the longest time, such as the Brute Lord, such as the Roach, such as the Corruptor, such as, you know, the Swarm Host. I mean, those haven't seen play in Zerg vs. Terran in forever, but they're all just sort of viable right now in the matchup, and I felt like we completed the task of winning this ladder game quite nicely. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button down below. And while you're at it, you can subscribe as well as follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook so you get notifications when I upload more stuff. Other than that, I want to thank you for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, alright? And I'll see you in the next one.